Welcome you all to dieselship.com. This series of educational videos is presented to you by Sriram. And this video is especially produced by Dieselship Academy. So in this video, let's now see about the Purifier basics, and here are some simple 4 questions just to understand the operating mechanism. Let's go to the first question. How does the vertical shaft drive the bowl? We know that the horizontal shaft drives the vertical shaft, and the question is, how does the vertical shaft drive the bowl? And the 4 options are: 1. By the speed of rotation, 2. By key on the shaft, 3. By the centrifugal clutch and the worm gear, and the last option is just by friction. So once again I repeat the question: how does the vertical shaft drive the bowl? And here are your options. And let's get on to the next question. How do you check exactly whether the purifier bowl has reached the rated speed? You've started a purifier, and after that, how do you check exactly the purifier bowl has reached the rated speed? Let's say the purifier is rated at 8000 RPM, the bowl speed in your manual and the nameplate details. And after starting a purifier, how exactly you verify the purifier bowl is rotating at 8000 RPM? Alright, your options are: wait for 10 minutes after starting. Option 2, check the amperes of the driving motor or the prime mover. Option 3, check for ready to start light on the auto start panel. And the last option is check the revolution counter. Which of these is the right answer? Let's proceed to the next question. The centripetal pump on the upper part of the bowl rotates at what speed? So this must be the clean oil powering disc, which is pumping to the heavy oil service tank. The clean oil is pumped out through this oil powering disc, which we call it as a centripetal pump. So the centripetal pump on the upper part of the bowl rotates at what speed? As the same speed of the bowl. And the second option is the same speed as of the motor. The third option is higher speed enough to pump the clean oil to the service tank. And the last option, none of the above. And let's move on to the next question. Why multiple discs are provided in a purifier? Let's say you open up a purifier and you find 120 discs. So why we have 120 or 130 or even sometimes 200 discs in it? The options are: to increase the weight of the bowl and thus the centrifugal force. Option 2, to increase the bowl height and minimizing the starting current. Option 3, to increase the bowl height and thus better purification and efficiency. And the last option, to separate the liquid into thin layers and create a shallow settling distance between the discs, which helps in better separation of the sludge and oil. So which of these options are right? Hope you guys enjoyed these questions, and let's now move on to the answers. And the answer for the first question, that is, how does the vertical shaft drive the bowl? The answer is just by friction. Hope you guys must have noted the vertical shaft is tapered, and it gives, or the bowl sits on the tapered portion without any key, and you probably have in some design a lock nut which locks the bowl with the vertical shaft, and you apply a specific torque to tighten the lock nut on the vertical shaft. So the friction between the taper portion of the shaft and the ball races is made utilized to drive the ball. That is, the vertical shaft drives the ball with help of a friction, and the taper is provided just to increase the surface area so that the friction force can be increased to drive. So the next question, how do you check exactly whether the purifier ball has reached the rated speed? And the answer for that is check the revolution counter. You must have noted there is a small, nearby the brake, there is a small rotation device similar to the worm gear arrangement, rotating at a very lesser speed which can be counted by the human eye. So let's say your manual states that within a minute it has to rotate 70 times. So you got to check after starting the purifier, after the ampere become normal, you got to check actually how many revolutions or rotations it makes within a minute. If it is 70, yes, the ball has reached 8000 RPM. Even 1 RPM less, let's say it reaches 69, then it's not going to reach 7000 or 8000 RPM or the rated RPM. It's going to make a huge difference. This means the friction clutch is getting worn out. So you will have probably many reasons, but very basic reason is the friction clutch is getting worn out. So you got to check the revolution counter. And let's move on to the next question. The centripetal pump on the upper part of the bowl rotates at what speed? And the answer for that is none of the above. It doesn't rotate, it's stationary. The oil, due to the centrifugal force, rotates at almost the same speed of the bowl, and this centrifugal force of the oil it's getting collected in the powering disc or the oil powering disc or the centrifugal pump, and this force is used to pump it out to the service tank. So the centripetal pump doesn't rotate at all, it's stationary. Alright, let's move on to the final question. Why multiple discs are provided in a purifier? And the answer for that is to separate the liquid into thin layers. The distance between any two discs is maybe less than 1 mm or 0.5 mm. So this distance separates the liquid into thin layer and creates a shallow settling distance between the discs so that the sludge, water and oil can be separated efficiently. So these are the answers, and in the next video we will have more on quiz series on basic marine auxiliary machineries. So thank you all for watching this video. For more videos, log on to dieselship.com.